How's it going, everybody? Welcome into the Jays Digest pregame show. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Thank you all for tuning in today. A bit earlier than usual. Some stuff got in the way today. I'm going to have to leave at around 12:15, but Nick might take over and take you guys right to first pitch, so stay tuned for that. But thank you all for joining in. Super excited for this day of baseball ahead of us here.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. Alek Manoah is on the hill. And just to clarify as well, this is not the new normal time. Our normal time is going to be 30 minutes before first pitch just today. And sometimes we'll have to do it a bit earlier, but the normal time will be the usual. What's up, Michelle? What's up, Owen? But yeah, we have a few things to get into today. Obviously, a bit of news as well that has come out. And yeah, we're playing the Minnesota Twins in about an hour and a bit. But let's just get into the lineup previews. Now, the Jays lineup has been fully revealed, and the Twins just got released by one of their Twitter pages. So we'll get into that right now. And it's a pretty stacked lineup for the Blue Jays today. You have Springer finally playing in the field with Bichette at DH, Varsho in center, which will be very, very interesting to see. Matt Chapman, Danny Jansen, Addison Barger once again playing at shortstop with Jimenez, Capra, and Reiner Nunez. Of course, Manoah on the bump. Do you have any very interesting lineup today? I'm more excited for the defensive end rather than the offensive end, but anything you're looking out for in this game?
Well, it's the first time we'll see Springer in right field in spring training, and that's probably where he's going to be playing the majority of the season. So I'm glad to see him finally get some reps over there. Although I'm sure it would take him no time to adjust, as he's played a lot of right field in Houston. Played a lot of right field last year when Bradley Zimmer would come on as a defensive replacement. Same thing with Jackie Bradley Jr. So he's very acclimated to that position, but he's a really good right fielder, and that's where he's going to be playing. So get him comfortable early, and hopefully he can stay healthy there all season long. And Varsho in center field is something else that I'm looking out for there. So I think he's the center fielder of the future for this team starting in 2024. So it'll be nice to get a little sneak peek of his elite defense out there in center.
Yeah, lots of regulars. Kevin Kiermaier gets the day off, and like you said, Varsho is in center, which is super, super exciting. Hopefully to see a few web gems. Barger at short, maybe that is a some foreshadowing. Probably not, but probably just get the Bichette off his feet. But be interesting to see his arm at short. And then obviously Danny Jansen has been catching a lot recently with Alejandro Kirk expected to be able to start playing sometime. It was supposed to be this week, so maybe by Friday or something, or maybe in tomorrow's split squad game. And then Matt Chapman is back again, and we didn't get to see him play yesterday, which would be very, very interesting. And Manoah, hopefully, he had a pretty poor outing his first time, but none of that really matters too much. But I guess we'll get into the Pirates lineup now. Oh, that's the wrong. There we go. The Twins lineup now, which is Lee, Castro, Wallner, White, Contreras, Cisco, Griner, Bechtold, and Holland, which is a pretty, very weak lineup with Ober pitching there. Do you have any thoughts on these players, or if you know many of them, or what do you expect to come out of them?
I can't say I do. I mean, it looks like a pretty prospect-heavy lineup right there for the Minnesota Twins. If there are any Twins fans in here, I mean, let me know. Let me know about those guys, because I've never heard of either of them. Maybe if I were to see the first names, maybe it would come to me a little bit easy. But yeah, no, I don't really recognize any of those names off the top of my head. But one note that we do have on the Minnesota Twins is, and for all you Jose Barrios, I guess, kind of haters out there, I should say, Austin Martin, the top prospect that was traded to Minnesota in that transaction for Jose Barrios, is now out for the year with a torn UCL. So we never want to see that out of any prospect, out of any promising young player. But I guess the Jays have always found a way to sell high on highly touted prospects who end up not panning out. And we could see that with the Josh Donaldson trade. We could see that with the Matt Chapman trade, in which they traded Kevin Smith and Gunnar Hoglund, who has not panned out either. And in the Josh Donaldson trade, the main centerpiece was Franklin Barreto, who also didn't pan out. So it just shows you that, you could always sell high in your prospects, and the Jays tend to usually do that at the right time. I'm not hinting at anything here about Ricky Tiedemann or Nate Pearson or any of the other top prospects in the Jays organization, but that the Jays usually tend to pull the right strings at the right time. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Austin Martin, and hopefully he continues to rehab. But he has been falling off a cliff even before the injury. He's been falling off a cliff ever since being traded away. The lack of power, which was a major concern with the Jays, has continued to be a concern. And again, I'll pop up the Jays lineup for you in case you guys missed it. What's up, Calvin, Nick? Good to see you all. Mantis is back. Good to see you all in here. Prayers out for Austin Martin. I was looking forward to seeing him what he got when he got drafted. Yeah, I agree. And Owen saying it's crazy to keep putting Varsho high in the lineup when he has struggled mightily at the plate thus far. He's actually, he hasn't played as well as some of the other players, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit on both ends and gotten a few hits in his last few games. He's done okay. And he's a lefty bat. That's the big thing here is that obviously Vladdy is out, so having a lefty bat in between all these righties to split it up is very, very good. And as well, of course, the big thing, it's spring training, so you'd rather have him get used to that spot or even just get as most at bats as possible, because you got to remember that these regulars, which is why you see most of the regulars in the top 5, because you want to get them as many at bats as possible before pulling them in like the 6th inning, because they're not going to be on their feet the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where they want Dalton Varsho hitting. Not necessarily in the 3 spot, but they want him in that top 5 throughout the regular season. So you want to get him acclimated to those RBI opportunities. And like we've said many times, that the results don't matter in spring training. You could go 1 for 20, but as long as you're hitting the ball hard and having good at bats, which Dalton Varsho is, like, he's not getting the results. They're not falling for him necessarily, but you could see that he's starting to have better at bats. And yesterday he got a nice bloop hit. So that's what'll happen when you're stringing together good at bats and you're seeing 7-8 pitches when you go up there to hit. So it'll fall for you eventually. And that's where they want Dalton Varsho to be in that lineup, in the middle, right there.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And he's been now's the time to do it. Like Michelle said, might as well try things when the games don't matter, and get him comfortable. And I'm expecting maybe tomorrow or Friday we see one of Brandon Belt or Alejandro Kirk in the lineup. Obviously, we play 2 games tomorrow. Yeah. One of them being televised against the Braves, the other one not being televised. But Dawson's saying, dude, I want to trade Leo Jimenez so badly to a team who needs infield defense. Maybe they're working behind the scenes to get that. Rachit, welcome. Got my first spring training guest right yesterday with Kikuchi, 3 hitless innings. You did indeed. I did actually remember that. And when we do our bold predictions, maybe you'll be able to go 2 for 2. Owen saying, I think we forgot about...
Throw up the flames. Throw up the flames for him.
That's, where is it? Flames. We got the flames. Good call on that. We'll keep these up for a second for you. Richie, I think we forgot about Simeon Woods Richardson on the Twins. We also traded him for Berrios. It would be interesting to see him pitch. That was another thing that I saw when I read that or thought about that is Simeon Woods Richardson. So very interesting. Adam, welcome back to the stream. Back on track today with the dub. We're excited. Hopefully we can get a win. Yesterday's game was very, very weird. It was very, very weird. And one more final thing. Again, this is the lineup for the Blue Jays in case you missed it. Solid. I'm excited to see Barger at short. Barger's defense will be good. Varsho in center with Springer right. And honestly, this outfield defense, aside from Vinny Capra, is kind of it's going to be very, very good, obviously. But if we had Kevin Kiermaier in center, Varsho in left, that would have been the full preview. But of course, they had to tease us a bit there. And then the
have we seen that? We haven't seen that.
No,
yet,
we have not yet in spring training. No, and this is the Twins lineup, which we don't is very interesting. It's very interesting. Ober, who's a decent pitcher, is on the bump. So that is the preview for the lineups. Nothing too exciting from the Twins side, and it hasn't even been fully released by the Twins, Twitter page. This is just their one of their update pages. But let's move on now to the rapid fire question segment. We have a few people in chat here. Make sure to hit the like button as well. I know we're doing it a bit early. I might be able to carry it until first pitch. Well, Peter does have to go in around 20 minutes, but we'll go back to normal time for the future streams or whenever Peter can make it. But make sure to hit the like button. It means a lot. And what's your rapid fire question for today for the chat? And then I'll answer mine. And here's the lineup while you, bring out the rapid fire question.
Yeah, I got my first question here, and in honor of the Jays playing the Twins, in which they acquired Jose Berrios from, I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite Blue Jays trade ever that you've witnessed?
Okay, I'm gonna think on that for a second and chat. I answer that question as well from Peter. What's your favorite Blue Jays trade that you have witnessed? And I have 2 answers from the same year, and both of them were from 2015. I'm gonna go with the Tulowitzki / David Price trade because they kind of happened. That's probably yours too. It happened back to back, and it kind of just built the hype for the season, which ultimately was a phenomenal season. And there's a lot of trades the Jays have done since, but I think the David Price one especially kind of signified they were going really all in. But the Tulowitzki one, I remember it being like 2 in the morning Newfoundland time, and I saw it at the bottom of the score because I obviously at that time I wasn't super on Twitter or anything like that, and it
Hmm.
popped up and I was super hyped. So what was yours? We have Derek Fisher and
Yeah,
Donaldson. Derek Fisher, interesting. What's yours?
it was definitely the Troy Tulowitzki one. Also, just because of the suspense and the hype of getting David Price, and then Troy Tulowitzki was my favorite player growing up as well. So that's why I love Carlos Correa so much, just because he reminds me so much of a throwback Troy Tulowitzki, a big lanky shortstop who hits for power, has got a cannon of an arm. So yeah, he was my favorite player growing up, and when the Jays got him, it was just like, wow, they just got Troy Tulowitzki, man. Obviously, it wasn't like the most successful trade
No,
in
of
Jays
course not.
history because he wasn't the same Tulo once he actually got to Toronto. But he was a phenomenal player and one of the greatest shortstops of our generation. And then for him to be on the Blue Jays, however long he was on the Blue Jays for maybe a year and a half there, it was just great. It was great to have a guy like that on the team, and it was unbelievable trade. And the timing too was great. Two, like you said, 1 in the morning for me, 2 in the morning for you, and it was just like unexpected.
It was
Total
it,
shot,
it was
total shot out of nowhere.
Yeah, no reports about that had come up, and that would have made for some great Jays Digest content if we had it back then. But
Oh yeah,
Calvin,
oh yeah.
Derek Fisher, Mantis St. Donaldson, Mike Nola saying Adam Lynn for Mirko Estrada. Interesting, interesting. A lot of Josh
Well,
Donaldsons.
that's a good one.
The Steven Matz trade. Dawson, that's an interesting one. Did we when they got Carter and Alomar from the Padres, Alta Wedgie welcome. Yeah, that was also another good one. And again, for me, it was also Troy Tulowitzki / David Price. I think Josh Donaldson is better because he was more impactful long term than Tulo and David Price. Yeah, I mean the Donaldson trade was definitely better for the Blue Jays, but revolving around excitement, I
Oh
like
yeah,
the I
yeah,
like the Tulo one. Just for the memes, Derek Fisher.
absolutely.
I was watching some Derek Fisher highlights the other day. What a steal for the season. Okay, so I'll do mine now, which is kind of transitioning
Okay.
back into today's game a bit more, and we'll pop up here. And it's not going to be an over/under question. It's going to be who do you think we will look back on at the end of this game and just be most impressed with today? Whether it's offense, defense, or pitcher, it's a pretty broad question. But who do you think will be the most impressive player on the field today for the Blue Jays? And I'll let you all discuss in the chat. And here is the lineup, of course, if you missed it. Who do you think you will look back on in a few hours? And obviously, I know, Peter, you won't be able to watch the game, but you can, in theory, who do you think is going to impress most today?
I'm thinking Dalton Varsho. This is his showcase game right here. It's his first time in center field with his new team. He's going to show out, and he's starting to get comfortable at the plate too. He's having some good at bats. He's seeing a lot of pitches up there, and I think this is going to be his game. He's going to take over, and for however long he plays, probably around 5, 6 innings, he's going to be the star of the show.
Okay, I like that one a lot. We have someone saying Reiner Nunez. I'm going to go with George Springer. He's finally in the outfield. Maybe we'll see a leadoff home run. Maybe we'll see him get the bat going. And I'm just excited to see how he plays in the outfield. And then I'll give an honorable mention to Reiner Nunez as well. Like Owen said, he's been playing very, very well. Big body, lots of power. And I think he's going to impress a little bit. I just don't know where he fits necessarily in the team. But yeah, do you have a final rapid fire question as we let the chat say their most
Yeah,
impressive player
I
for today?
do.
Do you have a rapid fire question that we can wrap up the segment?
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a complex question here, but I want to ask you if you could take any player from around the major leagues and just drop him onto the Blue Jays right now, who would it be? But
No Shohei.
two-part question. No Shohei Ohtani, no Mike Trout, no, none of the top, let's say, 20 guys. And like obviously the top 20 is debatable, but we could pretty much figure out who that is. So all the superstar players like
Okay.
Aaron Judge and Ronald Acuna and just players like that.
Okay. I'm sure you have one. I have one in my head, but I'm gonna try to think of another one, and I'll let the chat also think. So just one non-superstar player to drop into the Blue Jays.
It could
They
be
can
it could
be
be a star. It
can
could
be
be a
a
star
star.
like maybe should I give you an example? Like
I was gonna say Sandy Alcantara, but I'm assuming that
oh no
is
no
a
no no no
superstar.
that's too, he's too good. He's too
So
good.
you
He
can
won
give
the
me
Cy Young.
an example of a player.
Okay. I'll say like Lars Nootbaar, for
Okay.
example, or Brandon Nimmo type. I
Owen
don't know
with
if you consider Brandon Nimmo a superstar, but
Gunnar Henderson. That is a very. I'll get yours. I need to still think on this because I'm trying to think of someone, but I'll let you say yours. Gunnar Henderson is a very good one. Dawson saying I want to see Jimenez
Okay.
hit to boost his trade value, and Kane Duddy, definitely.
All right. How about this? Willie Adamas. And you move Bobichette to shortstop. That's my Bobichette to second base.
Interesting.
That's my pick. Willie Adamas
Interesting.
from the Brewers. Elite defense, hit 30 plus home runs last year. Willie Adamas.
A Rosarena maybe. That's a good one from Richie. That's actually a very,
That
very
is a
good
good one.
answer. Jesus
That's a very good
Luzardo
one.
is also a phenomenal answer. Spencer Strider. I was thinking
Spencer Strider.
he's approaching.
He's
He's approaching.
near superstar level. He's near superstar
I was
level.
thinking of a pitcher primarily. Obviously an outfielder would have been good too. I was gonna say maybe I really like Jesus Luzardo. I was gonna go Pablo Lopez, maybe someone like that would be very good to slide in there as well. He's obviously not the
Luzardo's
best,
a great
but
pick.
I think Luzardo. I'm gonna steal Calvin's answer and just say Luzardo because I was thinking of a pitcher and he is the perfect one, and I'll probably think of someone else as the
That's an awesome pick.
yeah, Jesus Luzardo. Spencer Strider, I mean, I would take him in a heartbeat as well. Any other players I can think of now who, Cal
Wow,
Quantrill.
that's great.
I like Cal
Calvin
Quantrill.
Calvin is a stud, man. Even the other day, the guy's
He
a
is.
savant. He's a baseball dictionary, that guy.
I'm going to go with Cal
Good pick,
Quantrill.
man.
That'll be my lock answer. Cal Quantrill.
Cal Quantrill?
I'll go with
Okay.
him. I like Luzardo because
No
he's a lefty
lefty?
and
You don't
throws
want-
fast.
you-
I do, but I'm
you-
trying to think of another one who would.
Well, there are
There are a
couple.
lot. I
There
don't know
are a
why
couple.
they're. Or you know what? I could also
Um,
go with maybe a bullpen or Corbin Burns, Cal Raleigh, another catcher.
Hmm.
Corbin
Interesting.
Burns would definitely, I think, would categorize it, or pretty close to categorize as a.
He's a superstar. But what about
Syndergaard.
Clayton Kershaw? Clayton Kershaw?
Kershaw would be cool. He would, especially if it's like a 1 year
'Cause
thing.
he's not a superstar anymore.
No.
He's not a superstar.
Luis
Or Julio
Castillo.
Urias.
I like Urias
Maybe.
a lot. Castillo, Joe Jimenez would be good from Dan. There's a lot of good ones. I don't know. I feel like there's a left-handed pitcher that is slipping my mind. Jesus Luzardo is definitely the one. I'm gonna go with him / Cal Quantrill just because Cal Quantrill is Canadian, so we'll give him a bit of.
Dude, it's just because there's so many fringe guys that you could drop on any team right
I'm
now
gonna-
and it would put them over the top.
I'm gonna name one that is
That's
I don't think I consider him top 20, but he's a very,
Okay, let me-
very, very good.
let
I'm
me
gonna
hear
go with Shane McClanahan. I'm assuming
oh,
it's
yeah,
close.
I think
There's it's close though. It's
I
close.
don't know, but I don't know. I would say like
If he's not, then I'd take
we would
him.
have to rank them. We would have to rank them separately because as a player, I don't think he's top 20, but like
He's a very
he-
elite
he's
pitcher.
a superstar pitcher. He's a superstar pitcher.
Lots of you guys
So,
gave
yeah,
lots of
it's-
your feedback. Namaste from beautiful Barbados. Welcome, Richard. Hope you're. Make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream. We have shout out to everyone in here. We do these for every game. So far, we've done one for every game in spring training. Besides, I believe one that wasn't televised. But
the
we've been
first one, except for the first one,
right,
except
and
for
we've
the
been doing
first one.
every other one,
Yeah.
which has it's been really enjoyable. And we're gonna continue to do them as much as possible. And I guess that was a good final question. I like that one. Luis Castillo would have been. I mean, Castillo's a great answer as well. And to think we could have had him in a trade is a bit upsetting.
Oh, Jeff Springs. Jeff Springs is a good answer as well. That Tampa, any guy that I could steal from the Tampa Bay Rays is probably a good answer.
Yeah, I
as
started
well.
thinking
Like
about
Drew,
the Rays.
Drew Rasmussen, Shane Baz. Give me
Shane Baz
anyone
is
in that
good.
rotation, so we don't have to face them.
And then I'm trying to think of, before we move on, one bullpen arm. If I could drop a bullpen arm who is not a superstar, because obviously there's all the superstars. I don't know who
You're
I
a big
would,
Soto guy.
I am a huge
You're a big
Gregory
Gregory
Soto,
Soto
guy.
guy.
Huge Gregory Soto guy. I'm kind of thinking of someone from the Astros because they have a loaded bullpen, but I'll
But I
digress.
feel like it could be any bullpen arm. Just
Besides like
because,
Class A,
I mean,
I'd assume, right? I mean,
like
Manuel.
yeah, they wouldn't be top 20 players, like
True.
because they're so volatile from
I'll go with
year to
Emmanuel
year, right?
Class A. I'll just go with him and we'll move
Okay,
on.
sure.
But very, very, that was a good question.
What about
man.
Johan Duran from the Twins?
Those absolute
That's a
or
good one, too.
what's his name on the Mariners?
Munoz.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Munoz. Yeah.
So I was like, any Tampa Bay pitcher.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on now. Cueto, lots of me. I like that question. That was a very good question. But let's move on to the bold prediction segment. Who was it who guessed it? Was it Rashid who guessed the correct one yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, Rashid.
We'll let
guessed the
Rashid
correct
go
one.
first.
Yeah.
We'll let you go
Rashid,
first.
we'll give you
Rashid,
your
just
bold
'cause you're-
prediction while we ponder a little bit. Oh, actually, we can both do one, and we'll do two each. We'll do two each for today, and we'll let Rashid and
Okay,
everyone
cool.
else, Mantis, anyone who wants to leave their bold prediction, go ahead and leave it for today's game. I will pop. This is for today's game again, not for this season or anything like that. I mean, if you want to, you can. Munoz will solve all of our bullpen problems. It definitely would. Peter, what is your bold prediction for this game here today?
All right, now I said this is going to be the Varsho game,
Yep.
and I'm going to stick with that. Varsho
Okay.
hits a home run, and he robs a home run.
Very, very bold. Very, very bold. What's up, Sheila? Morning, guys. Let's go, Jaybirds. Hopefully they can bounce back. I want to add Steven Matz back. JK, but Jock Peterson. Definitely bullpen. Tanner Scott. I like Jock Peterson. It's a very good answer. Ocean View Coffee
Hmm.
Crew, welcome. Pete Fairbanks would be a very, very cool bullpen arm to add as well. Rachit, there it is. Vinny Capra and Danny Jansen go yard. For some reason, I just have full faith that's going to happen now that you said it, but I'll go with my bold prediction of I'm also going to ride with the Vershow home run. I think this is my third straight game riding with the Vershow home run that he's played in. So I'm going to go with a Vershow home run, a Berger double, and a Jansen home run. So Vershow Jansen home run with a Berger double. That's my bold prediction. Jays by 4.
Okay.
Yeah, our poll yesterday was woefully incorrect. Where we said, will the Jays win by 4 or
Hmm.
more? 85% of us said yes, and they lost by 5.
Yeah, we'll ask the question before I have to go here. But Dan Eckmeyer over here is saying, speaking of Tampa, even though it isn't Jays related, did you discuss the passing of their broadcaster Dave Wills? We haven't, but I did hear that he was very well respected and a legend in the St. Pete area. So hopefully he can rest in peace. And that's a big loss,
Yep.
for a team that's losing their longtime broadcaster, and unfortunately, it happens way too often and way too soon. He was very young in his 50s, I believe. So, just condolences to his family and to the Tampa family as well. So, hopefully, they can find someone to fill those big shoes because he was a legend in that area.
Yeah, best wishes to him and best wishes to his family and of course him as well. But yeah, that was a good that we mentioned that. Keep in mind from yesterday that Manuel Beltre gets an at bat. Yeah, he did not get an at bat yesterday. You
He
are
didn't.
correct. A
Did
Berger
not.
smash from Adam Duke. I'm with you. I almost said a Berger home run, but I went with Varsho and Jansen home runs and a Berger double. One day I'll be right, Calvin says. So Manuel Beltre, maybe he plays today. Honestly though, Calvin, I would save, or you can just say it again tomorrow because there is a split squad game, so there's a higher chance that he plays in
That
tomorrow's.
it's not that bold. It's not that bold.
It
We
is
got to remember. We got to remember that the whole point of a bold prediction is for it to not happen. I mean,
true.
like it's not a bold prediction if we say Dalton Varsho is going to hit a home run. Like he hit 27 of them last year.
True.
It's not bold. Like bold is me saying he's going to hit a home run and he's going to rob one. Because when do you ever see robbed home runs, especially from a guy who's 5'10", who probably doesn't jump that high in Dalton
Who-
Varsho? So
Best defender in
yeah.
the one of the best defenders in the MLB though. So maybe
Yes, yes, yes. But a bold prediction,
no,
I
no, it's
think,
the fun part. It's
should
the fun part.
require a miracle. It should require a miracle. Like why not? Why try to be right when you can just shoot
Or
for the
be like
stars?
Retsheet and just get it right, even one being pretty bold. Like 3 hitless innings for Kikuchi is pretty bold. I read something about Berger's swing selection so far in spring being incredible. Let's say homer for Berger. He has had some very solid swings. He's cooled down a little bit over the past couple of games, but he still looks very, very good. And him and his double in the gap and a clock violation. We did see one of those yesterday with Nathan Lucas, who also tweeted, I think it was this morning, quote tweeting the clip saying he was waiting for the umpire to get in the box. So the umpire got in the box at like
Yeah,
9, and then Nathan Luke stepped in at 8, but he wasn't faced until 7, which very, very
I
weird.
saw that,
Is
dude.
anyone
I
missing
saw
Tabler
that.
with Buck? Yeah, I like Pat Tabler to a degree. I think Dan Shulman and Buck is going to be the best duo for me personally to
Hmm.
listen to, and then I like Ben Wagner right now
Yeah.
as well. So getting everyone involved is okay. Springer opening home run, I would love that. I kind of predicted a Springer outbreak today. The game will be interrupted by a stray animal. Yeah, shit.
I like that.
That's a bold
I like
prediction, and if
that.
you were right tomorrow, I'll give you the flames. I'll give you the flames in tomorrow's stream
And
if you're right.
I did see something about Addison Barger. I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about, Mantis, but it was showing all of his swings that were at strikes. So he swung at 22 strikes and he's made contact with all 22 of those strikes. So that's been very impressive. Although he does have some swing and miss in his game, he's been he's been very like good at swinging at pitches in the zone and making contact with them. So he's got a good eye at the plate, and that's what's really impressed me with Addison Barger.
I've noticed it. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. I think I saw maybe a tweet about it. Calvin said, Peter, wasn't one of your predictions yesterday a hitless inning from Tiedemann with 6 pitches? Didn't he do that in the second inning? Did you make that prediction? And if you don't remember, we can have someone or maybe us
Mm,
after the stream go back because the VOD is still up. I do remember something about. Did you say 6 pitches? It was something very. I think you
no,
did.
I think this is what I said. I think this is what I said. I said his first inning would be a 6-pitch first inning,
Okay.
and then, but I don't know if you want to give it to me or not.
Well, I mean, you guessed a 6 pitch inning regardless, which is
I did say a
which
6-pitch.
is
I did say a
incredible.
6,
I don't know how
but
you did that.
I don't know. It was super random.
I mean,
Then it was like the most random. And then I said a scoreless inning, the next inning.
so if you combine them both and put them into the second inning, if you would have said the second inning, you would have been good. Owen said Peter did 28 for 28 on swings and strikes, correct. First in MLB this spring. So that's for
Yeah,
Addison. That's
exactly.
incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Nathan Luke's big fan of the underdog bold. Addison Berger hits for the cycle and is involved with a triple play. I mean, there you go. That's what Peter's looking for here with the
That's what I want. That's
with the
what I want.
super
Speaking about
super
language.
bold predictions and yeah, very very bold there. That is incredible. Yeah, you did say 6 pitches. I forgot about that because we can go back and look as well. So yeah, you would have got it. You know, we're gonna give you credit for that anyways.
Throw
And
up the
Red Sheet,
flames. Throw up the flames.
I will put up the flames. And Red Sheet also of course got it right. Getting of course Yusei Kikuchi 3
Nice.
hitless innings, which pretty bold. Not as bold as your 6 pitches,
Hats
but
off.
you were
Hats off.
you were partially correct, right in the fire. You were partially correct. Make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream. It's been a very good one, and we're approximately 45 minutes away from first pitch. And I'll pop up the screenshot, Peter, before you do have to go. Just get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So behind Alek Manoah today, I consider that a win for you, Peter. I think we all do. Flames one more time for Peter. But we'll so here's who's scheduled to pitch after Alek Manoah is Jordan Romano, Trevor Richards, Luke Bard. He had a typo. It's not Daniel Bard. Trent Thornton and Matt Peacock. So not the greatest bullpen lineup today. I'm curious to see how Trevor Richard does, and I'll discuss that in the postgame. But Peter, do you have any thoughts on who we're expecting to see here?
Well, I wish it was Daniel Bard because that would solve a lot of the bullpen issues, and then we wouldn't be talking about who's going to win that final roster spot. But it's not Daniel Bard; it's Luke Bard, and I think those last three guys there are fighting for a long relief role with Mitch White going to be sidelined for quite a bit of time early on in the season. So this is going to be a pretty big game for those guys.
Definitely.
And I mean, they got something to prove. Luke Bard has not been very good in the spring. He had a decent outing last time he was out. Trent Thornton, I mean, he's been around for a long time. You know what you're going to get out of him. And Matt Peacock, he's just another depth guy who's, another Casey Lawrence. He's a Casey Lawrence 2.0 for the Toronto Blue Jays. So, I mean, all those guys are fighting for that Mitch White role. That will probably be occupied by Mitch White once he does get off the injured list. But it'll be interesting to see how they do. I'm excited to see if Jordan Romano could keep up his velocity and get more comfortable in the strike zone. He's adjusted very well to the pitch clock. That's one thing I've noticed with him. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. We get to see Alek Manoah pitch. We get to see, some of the main guys in the lineup. So I'm excited nonetheless.
Gotta go now, boys. Have a great day. Enjoy the game. Calvin, if you're still here, have a good day, and hopefully we'll see you in tomorrow's stream. Let's get gaming. Boys, what's up, gaming? How you doing? Kirk is not catching today, Steve. No, it is Danny Jansen. Here's the lineup for you one more time. And yeah, like you said, it's not the most exciting bullpen,
No.
Lineup today, but we get to see some. It's honestly probably of a more obviously besides a Ricky Tiedemann, it's more of a an impactful day for these guys who are battling for that last spot. And Jordan Romano, of course, is he's gonna be him. Bold prediction: Luke Bard throws two scoreless innings. I thought Tiedemann recovered well after allowing the homer to Santana. And Dan, we touched on that in yesterday's video. He did recover very, very well. Of course, 6 pitches in the second. He pitched a fair amount of pitches for him, the most he's pitched in spring, and I'm assuming the most he's pitched in a while, obviously since the his minor league stint, but he battled the the injuries and stuff there. But yeah, I don't know. Very
Yeah, I
interesting.
gotta get going.
Yeah,
I gotta get going. I don't know if you want to stick
I'll
around.
I'll stick around for a bit.
Yeah.
You can
All
say
right,
bye
guys.
to the
Well,
chat.
I'm signing off. So thank you all for joining today. It's been a ton of fun. I love doing these things. I think I'm going to be gone for the next couple of days as I will be working. I won't be there for the post-game reaction video Nick's gonna take over. I mean, Nick always has my back whenever I get busy, and he's a beast with his laptop, so he can get those videos pumped out within like 5 to 10 minutes. So, shout out to Nick, shout out to each and every one of you that's been in here and showing us support. And I cannot wait for opening day. And I'll see you when I see you. I don't know if it's tomorrow, I don't know if it's Friday, I don't know if it's Saturday, but I will see you soon.
All right, have a good one, a good day at work, and
All
we'll
right,
be in
guys.
touch.
All right, take it easy. Have fun the rest of the stream.
Fires for Pete, flames for Pete. Pete's out, which I'll be taking over. I don't know what this clip is, but I'll be taking over a solo now for a little bit. We'll stay with you. I'll stay with you guys for a little bit, as long as you all want to have me here and interacting. Peter's gone. Peter's we'll throw up some flames for Peter. He's going to work now, but I'll take you on. I can maybe stay, depending on what you guys want. I can stay until first pitch, or maybe a little bit before first pitch, but a couple of updates as well, which we'll go into. And everyone's saying take care to Peter. I'll forward him the word for you all. But yeah, we'll get into the Q&A segment in a second, and I'll just pop up a quick recap. We're obviously around 45 minutes away from first pitch. We did start earlier today, and Sheila, we do have news on Vladdy, which I will pop up right now, which we'll just get into. So this was as of around half an hour ago. Arden Zoing tweeted that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hitting in the batting cages today, took ground balls, and did some straight line running at the Blue Jays camp on Wednesday. Quote, he's feeling pretty good, a step in the right direction today, Schneider says. And of course, Thomas Hall says the true test will be when Vladdy runs the bases, but this is certainly an encouraging update. So there's your Vladimir Guerrero Jr. update, Sheila, and everyone else who wanted to know. It's looking very, very promising. He obviously withdrew from the World Baseball Classic, but despite withdrawing, he's still feeling pretty good and ready to go. So that's a very, very good sign, and it's good. I don't know if I can keep making the same bold predictions about Berger and Varsho. Those are my favorite players, but I can get repetitive and hard if Varsho keeps underperforming. Yeah, I mean, I've predicted Varsho hitting home runs in 3 straight games, and they haven't quite came to fruition just yet. But they'll get there. They'll get there. And yeah, very, very interesting. And again, I'll pop up the lineup. We'll do a couple, a lineup preview or a lineup recap before we sign off here. Yeah, he's looking good. Give as much time as he needs. Exactly. Let's get gaming. And for all you who are tuning in now, obviously we're closer to game time. We started earlier today because Peter had to go to work, so we wanted to have him on for the first while, and I'll just wrap you guys up. But here is the lineups for today. Again, we have Springer and Wright, Bichette, Varsho, Chapman, Jansen, Berger, Jimenez, Capra, Nunez, with the Minnesota Twins lineup of Lee, Castro, Wallner, White, Contreras, Cisco, Griner, Bechtold, and Holland. With the starting pitcher is Ober. Now, nothing too crazy out of the Twins lineup. Of course, the Jays lineup is looking very good. And again, Manoah is at the bump. And yeah, it's good that they're being extra cautious with Vladdy. It definitely is. Give him as much time as he needs, for sure. And we're hoping to see Brandon Belt and Alejandro Kirk back in the lineup. Hopefully, they said sometime this week. It's obviously Wednesday now, so hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Again, we have a split squad game tomorrow, in case all of you aren't aware of that. One of the games will be televised. The game against the Atlanta Braves in Dunedin will be televised. The other game, I don't believe, will be televised. I don't remember exactly who we're playing, but we're playing 2 split squad games, which is very interesting. And hopefully we see Belt or Kirk in one of those. Most MLB lineup predictions have Varsho in the 5 or 6 slot, and I think that's the most likely case scenario. It just depends on if they want to have, where they want to have Vladdy. And once Vladdy's healthy, of course, it's kind of picking it up. But Varsho seems to be adjusting to his new team. He'll be fine. Yeah, Ocean, he's been playing very, well as of late. Of course, he had a bit of a rough start, but defensively he's phenomenal. And I feel he should always be on the 5th slot. I like him in the 5th slot. Obviously, the lineup is skewed here without, Kevin Kiermaier is obviously not in the lineup, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is, of course, not in. Brandon Belt's not in. And then, Jansen. There'll be days where Jansen and Kirk both hit. And I'm hoping today, again, the big thing I'm looking for today is to see Springer, hopefully, in right field. He's, according to, John Snyder, fully healthy now, and according to himself, feeling better than ever, which is super exciting. But I don't know. I'm very, very excited for today's game. First pitch is around half an hour away, a bit more than that, 40 minutes. But we'll move into the chat Q&A now. If you guys have any final questions before we let you all enjoy the game. And again, I will quickly mention, right, Nick, Tampa Bay and Atlanta game televised. There you go. I forgot the other name. So yeah, Tampa Bay, that game won't be televised, but the Atlanta Braves game will be in Dunedin, meaning the Atlanta Braves game will probably have a more stacked lineup. I don't know exactly, Nick, who's pitching. It might tell you there. You can let me know if you do. But Yeah, and I'll be doing the game recap videos. We will have a game recap video tonight, recapping the game today in case you miss it, or just tune in anyways if you want to get our analysis on it. That'll be just me for the next, I think, today and tomorrow while Peter's at work. I'll be recapping that game, which will be fun. So you expect a solo tonight and probably tomorrow, and we'll see about the streams. But any thoughts on how many innings Manoah gets? I would expect 3 innings out of Manoah. It is his second start. Do you think it's possible for Varsho to slide into the 2 spot during the season? I think it's possible, though. I think they like Bichette in the 2 spot, and I think he is fairly comfortable in that 2 slot. Though there is definitely a chance. Okay, for the televised game, we have Kevin Gosman, which will be very, very interesting because you get to see how he adjusts to the new, that continues to adjust to the new pitch clock and his nasty slider. I have the same pick that you have on your door of the 92 Jays, except mine is a gold color frame. Yeah, this one right here is given to me by my grandfather, and it is it's a bit broken up top there. You can kind of see, but it's I love it, and it fits perfectly for the background. Which I'm getting, I think I'm getting a Dalton Varsho jersey soon as well to put and fill up my background there. But reason for the belt delay, he's just still recovering from his injury. They're taking it slow with him. He said, John Snyder said they want to get between, I believe, 25 and 30 spring training at bats for him, lining him up to start playing very, very soon. Nick, I like the bottom row of the stream having the current free agents. Does it get removed when the regular season starts? So I actually have been meaning to update that. It's mostly updated, like 95%, but a couple players aren't updated on that bottom base part. And yes, once the season starts at March, whenever it starts, March 30th, that will change from a free agent slider to the standings of every game. So there'll be the ALE standings, the NL standings, and then I might also have it to where it shows the scores for each game on a given night. So yeah, it won't be the free agency once the season starts. It'll be standings and or game scores. It'll be those. It won't be the free agents the whole time. But I've been meaning to update that. You have the same picture as well. Yeah, gaming. It's a great picture. I have a few other things here. I have a poster I've been meaning to put up. You can see it there. Blue Jays book, Blue Jays jerseys. Who will be the Toronto Blue Jays starting third baseman at opening day 2024? We are on the Addison Barger train if they don't re-sign Matt Chapman. Hopefully they re-sign Matt Chapman, though it's getting more and more expensive by the day, especially with this market. But I like Addison Barger or Matt Chapman. If our show goes in the 2 slot, there's a very serious issue. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Bichette loves the 2 spot there and wants to stick with that. As you can see here, he's playing DH today, so we won't see him at short. And another thing to mention from yesterday's game was that Bichette's looking fairly comfortable at shortstop. I don't believe he's had any errors so far, not many hiccups. He's gotten every ball very smoothly. His internal clock seems a lot better than it has been in the past regarding, the timing of throws, throwing the ball, and things like that. So it's very interesting to see him, his improvements on defense, especially with, of course, Don Mattingly now on the coaching staff. And yeah, again, Manoah, I think, goes 3. I think Manoah goes 3 today. Ricky Tiedemann, Yusei Kikuchi we saw go 3 yesterday. Ricky Tiedemann, I believe, went 2. And, Yusei Kikuchi has also pitched very, very well. So it depends on how Manoah pitches today. If he pitches well, hopefully he goes 3. If he pitches poorly, then they're not going to stretch him for no reason there. But yeah, that's pretty much game recap today. Which side were you on for giving Ross the qualifying offer? That's a very, very good question. As Michelle says, no shift helps. It definitely does. But I was on the side of seeing who their replacement is for Ross Stripling, and they went with Chris Bassett, which I'm perfectly happy with. I would have loved for them to get Ross Stripling and Chris Bassett. What's up, Peter? Peter Vryonis in the chat. Nick Goat for sure. I would have loved for them to give Ross Stripling the qualifying offer and sign Chris Bassett. So then we would have had our 5 set up with Yusei Kikuchi and Mitch White battling for the 6. But at the end of the day, I'm happy we got Chris Bassett. I think I feel more comfortable with Chris Bassett than Ross Stripling for years going forward. More highlights in the game wrap up show would be good. Okay, Sheila, I'll work on getting more highlights. We take from I get them. I'll work on getting some more for you though. We try to. Yesterday was a bit or sometimes it's a bit tough because they're not super available, but I'll definitely work on that. Thank you for the feedback there. I know it's been talked about, but how much player shuffling would be caused by a simple Kiermaier injury? His injury history with how much that would alter the lineup scares me a bit. Thoughts, Nick? One Kiermaier injury. So let's just assume Kevin Kiermaier, he starts the year in center field and he gets injured. So that would shift Varsho to center field, Springer to right, and then you're just juggling. Maybe you'd put, most likely you'd put Merrifield in left with Espinal at second, or maybe Kevin Biggio in left. So it wouldn't do a whole lot of shuffling per se, but it would make the team significantly, not worse, but I mean, it would obviously make the team not nearly as good, which is why it's funny to think about, because when we signed Kevin Kiermaier, a lot of you all were, including myself, was thinking that he'd be the fourth outfielder, but he is absolutely the starting center fielder, and he's healthy. Matt, what's up, Matt? How you doing? We stayed live a bit longer than usual, so it's good to see you tune in. Peter was here for the first half an hour. I'm taking over now. He had to head out to work. That's why we did it early today. Hope you're doing well, Matt. Matt, feel free to leave your bold predictions. I know we already covered the bold prediction segment, but you can leave your bold prediction. But in general, I think a Kevin Kiermaier injury would hurt, but I think we have the depth to be okay. But that's why I wouldn't mind maybe trading for a fourth outfielder. But we have people like Nathan Lukes, Spencer Horwitz, and people like that who can slide in, internal options who can slide in there. Zach Britton is what I meant to say, but I don't know. It's very, very interesting. I'm hoping for no injuries. I'm hoping for a fully healthy outfield and whole team throughout the year. Nick, do you think we won or lost a Brios trade looking back? I think we absolutely won. Hands down, we won. Of course, it depends how Simeon Woods-Richardson comes out. And like we said, Austin Martin is hurt now, so he's kind of fell off. Best wishes to him, but he's kind of fell off in general. And Simeon Woods-Richardson is essentially a Simeon Woods-Richardson for Jose Brios trade, so we definitely take that. My Sheila saying, I hated the shift. I'm glad Sandy's come back to baseball. Anyone agree? We're trading for another outfielder during the season, surely. Yeah, I think their plan now is to just ride with what they have, and at the trade deadline or throughout the, leading up to the trade deadline, make major fixes that they need to. I expect them to be very, very active at the trade deadline this year, extremely active, and it's going to be a crazy trade deadline for us, for you, for all of us as fans. It's going to be very, very exciting, because I expect them to make several moves, especially if they're competing and close, maybe battling with the Yankees for the 1 and 2 spot in the AL East, and they want to separate themselves. We have a fair amount of prospects. Obviously, I think Ricky Tiedemann is untouchable, but definitely a drop-off defensively with Kiermaier out. Absolutely, huge drop-off. He's probably the best defender on the team alongside Dalton Varsho and Matt Chapman, but when you look at it now, our defense is really, really good. Thanks for sticking with you, Mark. Matt's bold prediction is that Manoah allows 6 hits and 3 earned runs and doesn't make it to 3 innings. Interesting. He had a pretty rough outing last time. I hope that's not the case, and especially with the Twins lineup today, which is filled with a lot of minor leaguers. And again, the Jays lineup is very, very good. So I think the Jays will hopefully handily win, but we thought that yesterday, and that wasn't the case. If Kevin Kiermaier goes down, does Varsho go to center or does Nathan Lucas? I think Varsho definitely goes to center, and then maybe Nathan Lucas gets a slot in left field or some spot starts in left field, or one of the internal guys, maybe Winton Bernard or someone like that. But I think if it happened for a short stint, maybe like a 7-day injured list stint, and they would put Whit Merrifield there. But if it's a longer term thing, then maybe they'd consider something else. It's kind of nice we used Austin Martin right as trade bait right when we drafted him and maximize his value. Absolutely. I completely I agree. We definitely and me and Peter touched about that earlier in the stream. We definitely maximize his value. Believe in the depth. We do have tons of depth, though. That depth can disappear very, very quickly. They'll wait to the end of spring trading and see who gets DFA'd. Is Kevin Kiermaier out? No, he's not out. He obviously got hit in the leg. I believe it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. Either way, he's not injured. We're good for now. Someone just asked if he gets injured hypothetically, but no, he is good. He's not playing today, but he's not injured. At least we don't think the injury is going to be long term. They said yesterday, John Saunders said he should be fine, but they're giving him some rest now, making sure he's okay. Big Blue Jays saying Kikuchi and Barrios had to be at least average. Yeah, I'm expecting a 3.9-ish ERA out of Barrios, and anything in the low 4s for Kikuchi would be fine. Yeah, if Kevin Kiermaier plays 120 games, I think we're in very, very good shape, especially with with how he played so far in spring training. Austin Martin is out with Tommy John. Yeah, we discussed that earlier as well when Peter was on the show today. So he is out for the rest of the year with Tommy John, and there's no timetable for him, no timeline for his return, which is very unfortunate for him. We wish him the best. Obviously, we're playing the Twins today, but the trade is looking good for the Blue Jays, but hopefully he's okay. Thank God y'all scare me so much. I love Kevin Kiermaier. We all love Kevin Kiermaier so far. At least I love him personally, and he's been playing so well in spring so far. He's been playing unbelievable. He had the highest OPS in the team. I know we did our stream a few days ago and we discussed that, but he's fine. Kiermaier by all accounts. He should be good. Just giving him a rest day probably to heal the knee. Chris's drop in velocity, I'm assuming you're talking about Chris Bassett, is concerning. It is a little bit concerning, though. Again, it's just spring training. If he starts the season with low velocity, and he's never been a super high velocity guy, But if he starts the spring with low velocity, or if he starts the regular season with low velocity, then it's more of an issue. But I think he might be. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay for now, for sure. Make sure to hit the like button. I'll answer a few more questions and we'll wrap it up. We are around 30 minutes away from first pitch. We've been live for almost an hour now. Maybe a stretch to an hour. We'll see how it goes. But again, thank you all for the support so far. It's been unbelievable on these pregame shows. You guys seem to really like the pregame shows, so we can definitely continue to do them throughout the season. We're thinking about doing them, 30 minutes before Blue Jays Central throughout the regular season, so you can still watch Blue Jays Central. Though if you guys have any oppositions to that, we can definitely see what you guys want to do. But we're thinking 30 minutes before Blue Jays Central, and then previewing the game and giving our thoughts on it. Simeon Woods Richardson is still really young, could develop into something, but at the same time, I wouldn't really be surprised if his stuff isn't that great. He doesn't throw fast. Yeah, I expect him to be, maybe a bullpen arm, maybe a fifth starter. Christian Benoit saying we should try and get Profar. He's a free agent for our fourth outfielder, and he's playing in the WBC right now, and he has a lot to play for because he's playing for a contract. He's absolutely playing for a contract in the MLB, and I'm kind of surprised he hasn't got one yet. We've been talking about Jurickson Profar a lot this offseason before spring started about how he'd be a good fit for the Blue Jays, but now it's who knows? He's still battling for it. These pregame shows are awesome. Pregame streams are great. Thank you very much, Matt and Ocean. Sorry, we don't plan on stopping them. We're definitely going to be doing them throughout the whole year. And again, before Blue Jays Central, I think would be the best time, and then you guys can go into Blue Jays Central for that on-field coverage while we do the preview before them. I think that's the plan, and we're going to try to do it as many as possible. And there's also a Ryu update as well. He's down 15 pounds in the past 2 months and is aiming to be fully rehabbed by slightly after the All-Star break, I believe, which would be very, very interesting. Activating Ryu and Green near the trade deadline is like obtaining 2 quality arms. That's a great point. Richard, it is a very good point, and Chad Green is someone slips our mind a lot, at least slips my mind a lot. He's going to be one of our bullpen additions, so maybe that makes them less aggressive at the deadline regarding bullpen arms, but I think in general, we're going to be super, super, solid there. Thank you, Gaming, with the super chat. I really appreciate it. Enjoy another beer on me. Don't tell Peter. On another note, who are your biggest targets position at the trade deadline? I'll throw one more up for you, and thank you so much, Gaming. I really appreciate it. On another note, who are your biggest targets position at the trade deadline? I think the targets will be, depending on what our fourth outfielder spot is looking like. I like a fourth outfielder. I think bullpen is going to be a big thing. Maybe one more big arm, depending on how and any injuries that happen. And then again, it kind of depends on the injuries, but fourth outfielder and bullpen. And then depending on our starting pitching, you could obviously, if Kikuchi's playing phenomenal and all of our pitchers are doing great, then maybe that's on the back burner. But if they aren't, then definitely have him get a another starting pitcher. And let us know. Let me know in the chat now. Who are your all biggest positional targets for the trade deadline? I guess we can assume no injuries, because obviously injuries are going to have a big issue. Consider yourself spiked. Thank you all for hitting the like button. This has been a phenomenal stream so far. Dylan Scott, and thanks again, Gaming, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Your support has been unbelievable. I wouldn't mind seeing you go a little into Blue Jays Central so that we could talk about things that they are talking about. Okay, that's a very good point. We're open to anything, and we'll continue to discuss with you guys as we, get closer to opening day. Obviously, Blue Jays Central won't be happening until, a couple weeks when, 3 weeks from when the season starts now. When the season starts in a few weeks, but we'll try a few things, and we'll see what you guys all like. If you like it before Blue Jays Central, we can do that. If you like us starting at maybe 30 minutes before Blue Jays Central, transitioning into the first 10 minutes of Blue Jays Central, very, very possible. That's probably the most likely option. But we're definitely open to anything there. And we're going to be trying to do them as much as possible, whether it's me solo, Peter solo, or hopefully us together when our schedules collide. Lars Nootbaar is a very, very good one. Get back in the Lars Nootbaar train. I think it depends a lot on Kevin Kiermaier's health. It depends on Varsho's health, obviously, and Springer's health as well, as he's playing in right field today, as I'll pop up the lineup again. I know I've popped it up a lot, but in case there's any new viewers joining here now, as we are ranging closer and closer to first pitch, here is the lineup today. Evaluate the evaluators. Good idea. That is a very, very good idea. And again, we're open to anything. But yeah, Springer, Bichette, Verso, Chapman, Jansen, Barger, Jimenez, Capra, and Nunez. Of course, Reiner Nunez has been playing very, very well. Too much to give up. I think Victor Robles. Okay. Nick, who's your next candidate for your next Jays jersey? I'm thinking we get Varsho. I think I'm going to get a Varsho jersey next, followed by a, I don't know about the one after that. I think Vershow is the one I'm definitely getting next. Wouldn't like to listen to both at the same time. Okay, that's fair. That's how we're gonna start the streams before Blue Jay Central for sure, and then probably end as Blue Jay Central is starting. It's probably the most likely, but that's probably the most likely. But we'll play by ear and see. There's no we haven't decided yet. If you and Peter are both free during a game in the regular season, you should stream during it. Yeah, Matt, we're definitely going to be doing some live watch alongs, especially for major games. Obviously, Peter works, I work. I'm in school and things like that, so they're a bit harder to do than these pregame shows, which we can do in a more condensed format. But whenever we can, we're definitely going to try to do live watch alongs with you all, which engage with the community a bit more, which is great. And again, tonight I will have a solo post-game reaction, so make sure you tune in for that. If you enjoy the post-game reactions, I'll include the highlights from the game, major insights, and hopefully we have a great game, because yesterday's game was pretty boring in the sense of, it was weird. It wasn't boring, it was very weird with the outfield. There was like 10 outfield errors. Would be good defensively, but it's one of the worst hitters. I'm bummed this year. Sometimes opening days on my birthday, March 28th. Yeah, it's not this year. It's a bit after that, but maybe you can still go to a game. I know Peter is going to the Jose Bautista appreciation or ceremony game on August 12th. I wasn't able to. Their tickets are sold out now, so luckily Peter got one of those, which is very interesting. Mark Ryan's at 110 WRC against lefties, better than Vershow and Kevin Kiermaier. I'd be up for a game chat. Could be a hit or miss of schedules and time frames would be super rad. Yeah, no, we did one. It was one of our first streams, but yeah, we're definitely down to do more. Again, especially for major games, like maybe, I don't know about opening day necessarily. Maybe some point within the first couple series, maybe we can do a live watch along for you guys. And we're definitely going to continue to do the game previews though, because those are they're very solid, and our schedules can align for most of them. But again, getting our schedules aligned all the time. We're on different time zones as well. He's Eastern, I'm in Newfoundland, so it's a bit harder. What would be the fourth outfield option you would go for? There's a lot of them. I like Lars New. There's so many. Robbie Grossman would have been my perfect answer. So funny enough, maybe we make a trade and we trade for Robbie Grossman halfway through the season at the deadline. You can let me know your fourth outfielder option though as well. Helps to hear our own announcers at home. Yeah, and right now we're rocking with yesterday we had the Pirates announcers announcing the game because we're obviously not in Dunedin, and I'm not sure if we're in Dunedin today, but whenever we are in Dunedin, I know we're there tomorrow against the Braves. It'll be Buck Martinez and Ben Wagner, and then of course once the season starts, it'll be Buck Martinez and Dan Shulman. Helps to hear on announcers. Blue Jays Digest game previews are my new jam. Adam, we appreciate it, and that was the goal. The goal was to have a show that you can watch before the game or before Blue Jays Central once the season starts, and just to ask questions and engage, and make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying it. But yeah, that was the goal, and it seems to be working well, and we love doing them. Me and Peter love every day doing them. We obviously started earlier today, 11:45. Usually our game preview shows are 30 minutes before the game, leading up into the game. But now we're about to hit an hour on the stream, so Newfoundland rocks from Shannon Abbott. It does. It definitely does rock, though. I wish I was in Toronto so I could watch more games. But I still catch a good few every year. That's a peanut butter that, mate. Yeah, and again, if you guys want to leave any, you can go back and watch the stream. We already had our bold prediction segment and our rapid fire questions. But if you have any bold predictions for today's game, you can feel free to nick as well. It's nice to see some regular, because a lot of people are tuning in. They made it their routine. I know Chuck said that. He's not here today, but he said that in yesterday's stream. It's made Jay's Digest preview is the routine. It's his routine, and that's great to hear. I feel like Otto Lopez is your fourth outfielder that mashes lefties. Really, really good point. I think Otto Lopez he's played unbelievably. I'm going to give some flames for Otto Lopez. He's been unbelievable. He's been underrated. I've underrated him a little bit, and he even played well with the Jays last season, in the very short sample size, but he still played very, very well. So I'm on Vancouver Island, so the only Jays games I get to go to are versus Seattle. Yeah, and this year versus Seattle will be great. It will be a great game with Teoscar Hernandez, of course, on Seattle. Already did. Awesome, Adam. We appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. I feel like Otto Lopez is definitely for. But any bold predictions you have, feel free to leave them in the comments. Again, mine was a Vershow home run, a Jansen home run, a Berger double, and then Peter's, I don't remember. Peter's was something crazy. It was a Vershow home run, and Vershow robs a home run. I'm joining the crew soon. Love to hear that, Adam. We love it. I appreciate you tuning in every stream. It really means a lot. I hope we see Relvis play this year in the league. Not probable, though. Yeah, it isn't super probable, but he's been playing very, very well. He has a very good OPS in his brief time in spring so far. Again, his issue is is power, or not. His issue is not power. His issue is everything besides power. You know, fielding, contact, eye, striking out. Biggest worry is health of Springer and Kiermaier. Absolutely, by far the biggest concern is the health of those two guys who are fairly injury prone. But hopefully, if everything works well, we have a good year. I love the coverage you guys bring leading into the games. I watch your brother on Habs Digest, and y'all both do. Thank you, Dylan. I think I've seen you in the comments. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate. We both appreciate that. I'll let him know. I'll let him know. Always love watching the games in Seattle. West James fans are epic. They definitely are. I love watching games versus Seattle, and now there's an added narrative of obviously the big Teoscar for Erik Swanson and Adam Mako trade, which I guess I'll ask you guys this question now, and you can answer in the chat. Are you happy? You know, you've had a couple months. I believe it happened in December, but you had a couple months to, to digest the trade. Are you happy with the Teoscar Hernandez for Erik Swanson and Adam Mako trade, given what we replaced them with in, I guess, Kevin Kiermaier, Vershow, along with our bullpen arm, and Adam Mako, who is our ninth prospect? Are you all happy with that trade? You can leave yes or no's in the chat. You can leave any discussion you had. What's the series you're looking forward to the most, Nick? There's a lot of series. Any series with the Yankees is good. Opening day is going to be exciting. Right now I'm most looking forward to British Columbia. It's nice. I've heard it's very nice over there. I've never been, but I'm looking forward to the home opener to see all the Rogers Center renovations. That's what I'm by far most looking forward to, is the home opener. I believe against the Tigers. I believe it is against the Tigers, to see the major renovations that have went down for that. I'm very happy with the Teoscar Hernandez trade. I'm in the middle. You can also, your answer can be you want to wait to see how it goes in the regular season, because of course we're still in spring, but I think as a whole, need to see more Adam Mako to decide on the trade. It's a very good valid answer. And obviously it's a question I should probably ask halfway through the season, but may as well get the initial thoughts. So I know a lot of Jays fans were initially very, very upset with the trade because, at face value, it didn't look too great. But again, now we have Erik Swanson, who's an elite reliever, Adam Mako, who has been rising up the prospects. Again, he's ranked 9th. We had a prospect video of reviewing all the top 30 prospects. If you guys want to go watch that, it was a few days ago, but you can go check that out, where Adam Mako jumped up to 9. I'm a little indifferent on it. I need to see what happens to the season. I'm glad we got more lefties, though. Yeah, Mako is a lefty. And if you mean hitting-wise, we also get a lot more hitting-wise lefties, which is probably what you were talking about. They needed to get the most out of Teo while they could. He was great. Don't get me wrong, but they needed pitching, and that's what they got. And that's the big thing, is that clearly they weren't going to re-sign Teo. Or maybe they tried, and I feel like they tried, but an extension couldn't be, obviously didn't come together. I'm not, because Teo is my favorite player, but on a logical aspect, it's hard not to like the trade. It's a very, very valid and fair point. And I think that's kind of where we all love Teo to a degree, and obviously he had some defensive woes. He struck out on sliders a lot, but I think he'll do well with Seattle. I think he really do well. I'm content with it if we weren't going to keep Teo after the season anyways. I think that is absolutely what it came down to, was us not, we weren't going to keep him anyways. And I feel like they tried internally, or internally they knew they weren't going to keep him, so may as well get some value, and we have control now with Mako and Swanson. Happy we got rid of him. Would have cost too much to keep him for a declining asset. Very good point. Prefer the slight loss in offense for improved defense. And yeah, it also went with improved defense, and it opened up salary to sign Chris Bassett. You can kind of include that as like a little side note for the trade as well. It opened up salary to sign Chris Bassett. Truly hoping to go to the MLB All-Star game. Can't believe it's in Seattle. Yeah, you should go. I've heard it's great. It's on my bucket list, is to go to an All-Star game and see the home run, the home run derby and everything like that. Our lefty pitching prospects are stacked for Matt. Absolutely. They are which is funny because our farm system's a lot better than I may have initially thought, and it's looking very, very good now. What kind of contract would Teo get next year? I think it depends a little bit how he does this year. He obviously has his flaws, especially on the defensive end, but I don't know. A lot of money. A lot of money. Our outfield is so much better now that Teo and Lourdes are gone. Yeah, defensively for sure. And, shout out to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Gabriel Moreno. They've both been hitting very well in spring training. A lot of fans out there, especially Diamondbacks fans, are tweeting, Lourdes and Gabby's stats right next to Dalton Varsho's, and obviously they look like they're doing better, but it's okay. I think once the season starts, Varsho will be phenomenal. Who gets the last bullpen slot? Pearson, Richards, or X? If it's just pick one, I think Pearson gets it. I think Pearson deserves it. I really hope he gets it, and I want to see Zach pop up there too, but he has options. So Teo's not happy with his negotiations in Seattle so far. He feels lowballed. Interesting. Bassett is my favorite pitcher to watch. He's good. Obviously, I'm excited to see him pitch. He's a veteran. He's he's a bit of a leader in the clubhouse, and got a lot more veterans now. We got more of a defensive-oriented team, slightly less power with Lourdes, with Teoscar being gone. I guess Lourdes as well. Didn't have much power last year, but kind of sad we got a pitcher for a Silver Slugger, yeah. But again, the defense was not there. It just really wasn't there. The base running, Teoscar's base running wasn't great, despite being one of the fastest players on the team. His base running was lazy at times. But again, it is what it is. A great fit for Seattle. A very good trade for Seattle as well, assuming he performs. And so it'll be interesting to see if he re-signs with Seattle or if he, potentially doesn't re-sign with Seattle and then just goes into the free agent market, in which case, again, who knows how much he'll get. I like the trade. Teoscar's defense wasn't great, and Swanson is an awesome reliever. I'll miss Teoscar's antics in the bullpen. I'll miss Teoscar's personality a lot. He was a great clubhouse guy. Defense was his only issue. He struck out a good bit, but if he, was very good at defense. But again, nothing against Teoscar. The Jays just wanted to, in the front office, wanted to change up the way that the team looked, and they changed the construction of it. More contact now, less power, way better defense, pitching over everything else. Absolutely. Do you think Yasser Zuoletta will make the bullpen in the near future? I do think he comes up this year at some point and pitches in the bullpen. I think he's ready. It's just the bullpen is loaded in the sense of so many guys without options, like Trevor Richards, for example, who is pitching today. In case you missed it, we're 15 minutes away from game time, so may as well stay till game time. I already got to this point, so I'll stay till game time. But here's who's lined up to appear: Jordan Romano, Trevor Richards, Luke Bird, not Daniel Bird, is a typo from him, Trent Thornton, and Matt Peacock. A lot of the guys battling for those final bullpen spots, as we've discussed. Be very interesting to see Jordan Romano after Alek Manoah today, and Trevor Richards is going to be a big day to see him play. Teo was loved, but he was more concerned about having fun with the guys than winning. Pitching wins playoffs. Pitching does win playoffs. Gabby needed to play regularly, and Pineapple needed to change. It will only help both of them. I agree. Gabby definitely needed to play regularly, and clearly that wasn't going to happen here unless they traded one of the other catchers, and they wanted to stick with the proven commodity of Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk, especially because this is, they're kind of going for it now. They want to win over the next couple years, and I think they made the right decision, though. There's no doubt in my mind that Gabby will be a very impactful major leaguer. Pitching wins playoffs and regular season and close games. So yeah, pitching over Silver Sluggers any day of the week. Love them, but I'm glad Teo and Lourdes are gone. Fair enough. We also have 2 to 3 more Silver Sluggers in Vladdy, Bo, or Chapman and Springer. It's a good point. Hopefully Chapman has a breakout year, and Peter's predicted on the show a lot that Chapman might have a breakout year. So I'm excited to see. It's his contract year. Maybe he'll have a Marcus Semien type contract year where he just goes crazy. He obviously has phenomenal defense. So Moreno is going to be an elite contact hitter for batting average and will get more pop to hit 15 to 20 homers. And if he does that, along with his great arm and improves the defense as catcher, he will be an absolute stud. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be a good player. It's just you have to give up value to get value, and that's what we did with Moreno for Vershaw. Not bold prediction anymore. Richards will give up 6 runs. I hope not. I don't think they'll let him out there for 6 runs. Really hope Teo becomes a Brewer or Cardinal if he doesn't sign with the Mariners. Very interesting. I like those teams for Teo. Do you think we see Kirk tomorrow with the split squad game? Nick, yeah, I mentioned a little bit here. I think we see one of Kirk or Brennan Belt tomorrow in one of the games. Maybe both of them. Though there hasn't really been an update yet on Alejandro Kirk or Brennan Belt today. Obviously, John Snyder said a couple days ago that, or maybe it was yesterday, I think it was a couple days ago, that they plan to play him later this week, or at some point this week. Obviously, it's Wednesday now, so we have 2 more days to see Kirk or Belt play. Until obviously then unless there was a setback, which is very, very possible. But I would expect to see one of them tomorrow. And on the pregame show tomorrow, hopefully I'll see one of them in the lineup. Again, split squad game tomorrow. The game against the Braves is being televised at Dunedin with Buck Martinez and Ben Wagner announcing. And we'll have the post-game reaction video for today's game. Tonight it will be solo, done by me, and tomorrow as well will be a solo video. And I think we're definitely going live tomorrow for the pregame show. I'm just not entirely sure if it'll be just me or if it'll be me and Peter. Peter's super busy with work this week. I feel like Teoscar would sign with the Texas Rangers. Yeah, just join the crew. I can see Richards getting DFA'd if he doesn't improve. Absolutely, to open up a spot for even Julian Fernandez has pitched very, very well. You have Adrian Hernandez who's pitched fairly well as well. So Kirk could swipe a batting title this year. That would be unbelievable. I think Kirk will be great. Kirk will be a top 3 catcher this year. Dawson, I would love to see that. Again, we have the best catching tandem in the majors with Kirk and Jansen. Are you going to do a poll at the end of the stream? Yeah, we will. I will, Matt. I'll do a poll asking you guys a question about today's game with 5 minutes left in the stream, and then we'll get the answer and your thoughts on that. But yeah, it's first pitch is in around 15 minutes, so I'll wrap up in around 10 minutes. I didn't know if I was gonna stay the whole time up until the first pitch, but we're already here now. You guys, your support has been unbelievable, so we'll stay till first pitch and then let you all go and enjoy the game. But 10 more minutes or so now, and then we'll wrap it up. But Dylan, I agree, Nick. Yeah, I think that's the best bet here. You can see the Yankees going after Teoscar. They need outfielders who won't really care about his lack of mobility in their park. It's an interesting point. Obviously, they got Andrew Benintendi last year who just walked, and that ultimately ended up being a pretty poor trade. They didn't really, obviously they didn't win, and Benintendi walked right away. And the Frankie Montas trade is looking like a nightmare, and one that I wanted the Jays to make at the time, but kind of happy that they didn't now in hindsight with all of his injuries. Yasmer Zueleta deserves Richard's spot. We need speed and velocity. Yeah, me and Peter, I know a couple of pregame shows back, we had a pretty long discussion with you all about that final bullpen spot, and I think Trevor Richards is kind of the odd man out, and we have so many options internally in the bullpen that it might be time to let Trevor Richards go. He has a great pitch in his changeup. He's been, a fairly proven major leaguer for a while, but he had a poor year last year. He has not pitched well in the spring training so far, so might be time to let Richards go and give it to someone like Nate Pearson, Hagen Danner, someone like that. One trade we should have made was for Luis Castillo. Definitely would have been nice, though. I have full faith. I don't have full faith. I have some faith in Yusei Kikuchi now. He's obviously 7 innings, 1 hit so far in spring, but Castillo's an absolute stud. The Mariners did give up a lot, but they have a solid team. Let's get gaming with another super chat saying screw it, buy Pete a beer too. I will definitely let him know and buy him a beer as well. Thank you so much for the support, gaming. It has been unbelievable. You're always showing love, and thank you for tuning into the stream. And thank each and every one of you for tuning into the stream. And thank you again, gaming. It means a lot, and I'm glad you all love these pregame shows. I love doing them. Peter loves doing them, and it's been unbelievable. Thank you all so much. It means a lot. Rachit saying, just thought my favorite trade I've seen is Whit Merrifield. That was a great trade. It was last year at the deadline, right at the wire, too. I remember just sitting down, thinking the Jays were done. I think my brother told me they traded for Merrifield, and I was like, that's interesting. And we didn't even give up too much, so I love it. And it's going to pay dividends this year, as he is probably our starting second baseman. Probably. Maybe some people say Espinal, but I think probably Whit Merrifield. The hit Kikuchi gave up wasn't really a hit. Yeah, it was 2 feet in front of home plate, and he slipped, I believe, in his first start, so it really went 7 no-hit innings, if you want to categorize it as that. But it was, I guess, technically a hit. Antoine saying, I feel like Mariners gave up too much. Novel's a stud. Yeah, they gave up a lot for Luis Castillo. They definitely did. But he's unbelievable. He obviously carved up the Blue Jays in the wild card game last year. But that rivalry is going to be interesting. Obviously, a bit of a rivalry between the Jays and Mariners now. But it's good to see the Jays fans always show up to Mariners games. Bartender, so buying people drinks is occasionally a part of the job. That's awesome. We appreciate it, and I'm glad you're able to tune in to the pregame shows, and hopefully appreciate you buying me and Peter some drinks there. We appreciate it. I'll text Peter as soon as the stream ends and let him know. Really, really appreciate it. Any thought? And again, I'll pop up the lineup one more time for you all as we are 10 minutes away from first pitch. Super exciting time. Make sure to hit the like button and all that. And any final questions you guys have before I wrap up here? It's been a phenomenal stream. It's been almost an hour and 10 minute pregame show, one of the longer ones we've done. So any final questions before we wrap up, make sure to hit the like button if you do enjoy, and the subscribe button as well. We hit 6,500 subs yesterday, which was great, and we're on the road to 7K. So any final questions before we wrap up here? I'll answer any final ones you got, and if not, then the game is starting soon, so it'll be very exciting. And so I also do think that Zueleta definitely deserves a roster spot. I think that he's pitched very well in spring training so far. Yasmer Zueleta has, and even players like Hagen Danner. I'm blanking on some, but Hagen Danner, people like that have been pitching very, very well. Do you think we will retire Jose Bautista's number? I hope so. I think we will. I really think we will, and I do hope so. Are you working into or getting into sports media like Peter? So my focus in school right now is, I'm almost graduated, is marketing. So social media is my job, and that's kind of what I do. So hopefully something within sports social media. But yeah, I mean, working with something with the Jays or sports would be definitely a dream job. But hopefully somewhere in the marketing field, as that's kind of what I do as well. See Ocean Crew. Hopefully you have a great day and enjoy the game as well. Thank you for tuning in. Your support's been great. Who's winning MVP next year? Shohei Ohtani. Curious, Nick, as a Newfoundlander, are you a Habs or Leafs fan? I am a Winnipeg Jets fan, believe it or not. I am a Winnipeg Jets fan. But if I have to pick between one of those, probably the Leafs. I would definitely go with the Leafs. If you had to pick a different international interdivisional rival, currently the Phillies, who would you pick? That's a very, very good question. I kind of like the Phillies. I think I think the Phillies. I love playing the Phillies. It's such a fun game to watch. So, Lathan, what's yours? I'll ask you yours, and then I want to stick with the Phillies though. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. Peter would love to answer that question as well. So maybe if you come to the next stream, I'll get Peter to answer that as well. Bullpen is very deep this year. Fingers crossed on Kikuchi and Barrios. Hyunjin Ryu is a mid-season wildcard. Tiedemann as a tenor call-up may be an exciting prospect. Absolutely bombastic. Bushkin, absolutely. And that's the exciting part, is that there's so many, Chad Green, Hyunjin Ryu could turn out to be phenomenal additions. Bichette strikes out 3 times. Vershaw and Chappie go back-to-back jacks. And Manoah strikes out 5 are the bold predictions. Gaming, you can also go back and look at our bold predictions from, I guess, when Peter was here around half an hour ago now. But, yeah. I guess that'll wrap up the stream. I'll wrap up with a poll for you all based on today's game, and I'll pop up the lineup here while I do the poll, and some screenshots might pop up here if they do. I'll actually just fix that. But do you guys have any final questions for me before we wrap up? What has been an unbelievable stream, and we really do appreciate all the support. It's been phenomenal. So here's the lineup again for today's game. Miss Peter, but props for holding down the fort solo style. Enjoy the game and the rest of your day. You too, chat. Outro. Adam, I appreciate it, and you'll see me tonight for the post game reaction, which will be a solo. And I miss Peter as well. I love having Peter here. It's more fun with Peter here. But hopefully you still enjoyed. Hopefully you all enjoyed me holding it down. I took you guys the first pitch, but I guess the poll we'll ask today is will Manoah finish 3 innings? Will he finish 3 complete innings in today's game? The poll is live. Yes or no. We'll leave it open for 4 minutes, and then I'll wrap up right before first pitch. But hopefully you all enjoyed the half solo. We obviously would have loved to have Peter here the whole time, but he had to go to work. But shout out to everyone. We'll see now. So will he finish 3 complete innings? See you tonight, everyone. Yeah, I'll see you. Hopefully you tune into the post game reaction video, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow for the live stream, the game preview stream, which I'll be doing. I don't know if Peter's making that one. Hopefully he will be able to, but if not, then I'll hold it down for you all. Absolutely. Great. Love to hear that. Catch you guys later in the week. Good luck in the streams, and hopefully the post game is fulfilling. Absolutely Gaming, thank you again. Hopefully you have a great night. And I'll let the thing go on for 1 more minute, and then I'll wrap up here. Most of you guys are saying, it's close. 70% are saying yes, he will complete 3 innings. Are you going live tonight? Matt, we aren't going live tonight. We will have a post-game reaction video, though, and I'll be going live, like usual, tomorrow in the afternoon, Matt. I have some schoolwork I need to do, so I won't be able to go live tonight, but I will have a video for you guys. I will have a solo post-game reaction for you guys. Dylan Scott, have a good afternoon, evening, Nick, and enjoy the game. Thank you. I will be wrapping up the poll right now. Thanks, Nick. I enjoyed it. Take care. The poll finished with, let's see what it says. 16 votes. 68% said yes. 31% said no. Milwaukee could be injured. Milwaukee's a great one. Love playing them as well. That's a good point, Lathan. Very good point. Hard to say. I think he gets pulled in the second. Very, very possible. Completely depends on how he's pitching, how efficient it is, and I'm curious to see how long this game goes with the pitch clock. Awesome job, Nick. Love the streams. I appreciate it. And I guess that'll wrap it up. First pitch is a few minutes away. Hope you all enjoyed the game. Hope you all enjoyed the pregame show. It was a long one. And you can go back and watch it if you wanted to see the bold prediction, all the normal segments with Peter, and just answering your guys' chat was phenomenal. And I'll see you guys in tonight's video if you tune in. If not, we'll see you in the future streams whenever we catch you. And thank you all for making the stream very enjoyable. And hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully next time you all tune in, Peter hopefully will be back, as we all missed him. But take it easy, enjoy the game, and hopefully we get to see some Alek Manoah strikeouts.